Hello. Today, we are exploring the complex landscape of human rights across the globe, examining the challenges we face and the progress being made. Human rights are the fundamental rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world, from birth until death. Adopted by the UN in 1948, the Universal Declaration remains the cornerstone of international human rights law. Let's start with one of our most basic rights, the freedom of expression and the right to seek and share information. In many regions, journalists and activists face increasing censorship and physical threats for speaking the truth. The digital age has brought new challenges, from online surveillance to government-mandated internet blackouts. Next, we must address the unprecedented global refugee crisis, with millions of people forced to flee their homes. Conflict, persecution, and environmental disasters have led to the highest levels of displacement ever recorded. Providing safe passage and humane living conditions for displaced populations remains a critical international obligation. The fight for gender equality continues as women and girls around the world still face systemic discrimination. Access to education is a major hurdle, with millions of girls still denied the right to go to school. Economic inequality also persists, with women often earning significantly less than their male counterparts for the same work. Education is not just a right in itself, but a primary tool for achieving all other human rights. Despite progress, poverty and conflict still prevent hundreds of millions of children from finishing school. Adult literacy programs are also vital, empowering individuals to participate fully in their societies. A newer frontier in human rights is the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment. Climate change directly threatens rights to life, health, food, water, and housing. The transition to a green economy must be a just transition that respects the rights of all workers. Protecting the rights of ethnic, religious, and linguistic minorities is essential for peaceful societies. Indigenous peoples often face threats to their land and resources, requiring specific legal protections. Global movements for racial justice highlight the need to dismantle systemic racism in all its forms. Every worker has the right to fair wages, safe working conditions, and the freedom to join a union. Exploitation, including forced labor and child labor, remains a grave violation in many global supply chains. Collective bargaining is a powerful tool for workers to advocate for their rights and dignity. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored the critical importance of the universal right to health. Access to vaccines, medicines, and healthcare services should not depend on a person's wealth or location. Mental health is also an integral part of the right to health, requiring adequate resources and destigmatization. As our lives move online, the right to privacy has become increasingly vulnerable to data exploitation. Strong data protection laws are needed to prevent unauthorized surveillance and misuse of personal information. The use of facial recognition and AI in policing raises significant concerns about bias and mass surveillance. A fair and independent judiciary is the ultimate safeguard for all other human rights. Arbitrary detention and unfair trials are clear violations that undermine the rule of law. Access to legal representation for those who cannot afford it is a crucial component of a fair system. While the challenges are great, we must also recognize the significant progress being made globally. New laws protecting LGBTQ+ rights, environment, and labor have been passed in many countries recently. The rise of youth-led movements around the world brings fresh energy and urgency to human rights advocacy. Protecting human rights is a continuous journey that requires the commitment of every individual and nation. From advocating for policy changes to standing up for a neighbor, every action counts. By working together across borders, we can build a world where the dignity of every person is respected. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's continue to advocate for human rights for everyone, everywhere. Thank you for watching.